Hello children, welcome back. Let's continue with our lesson. Now, Operation Blue Star led to assassination of Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister of the country. He tried to make reforms in the field of economy, science and technology. However, he antagonized militant Tamil groups by intervening and then sending peacekeeping troops to Sri Lanka in 1987, leading to open conflict with the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam (LTTE), which ultimately led to his assassination in 1991. He faced corruption charges during a defense equipment deal (Bofors scandal). This ultimately led to defeat of Congress in 1989 elections. Due to corruption charges against Congress lost the 1989 elections. Janata Dal, a coalition government, was formed. Vishwanath Pratap Singh was made the Prime Minister. His most important contribution was the policy for providing reservations for other backward classes, that is OBC. However, he could not continue as Prime Minister due to internal differences in the party. In 1990, Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister. His government was also short-lived. In 1991, during the election campaign, the terrorist organization LTTE assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. End of decade of 1980, terrorist activities increased in the Kashmir Valley, forcing the Kashmiri Pandits to leave the valley. Changes after 1991. Important events in the world. End of Cold War and disintegration of Soviet Union. Children, we have already discussed Cold War and disintegration of Soviet Union in political science. Just to revise, do you all remember what is Cold War? Cold War is the concept used to describe the condition where there is no actual war, but there are such tensions that they may be responsible to cause war. The year 1991 is important in the history of the world as well as India. The Soviet Union disintegrated into several small countries. Russia was the biggest country out of this, and the Cold War came to an end. In the year 1991, Congress won elections and P.V. Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister of the country. During this time, we say that members of Vishwa Hindu Parishad demolished the Babri Mosque in Ayodhya on 6th December 1992. This led to large-scale communal violence throughout the country. When P.V. Narasimha Rao became Prime Minister, the Indian economy was on the brink of bankruptcy, and he was of the opinion that India would benefit from liberalizing its economy. He appointed Dr. Manmohan Singh as the Finance Minister. Efforts were made towards privatization of public sector and increasing investment in infrastructure. Trade reforms and changes in the regulation of foreign direct investment were introduced. From the year 1996 to 1999, we see three governments were formed. Governments were led by Prime Ministers Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Deve Gowda, and Inder Kumar Gujral. In the year 1999, the National Democratic Alliance came to power under the Bharatiya Janata Party, and Atal Bihari Vajpayee became India's Prime Minister. Atal Bihari Vajpayee tried to establish a dialogue with Pakistan but was not successful, and we see in the year 1999 another India-Pakistan war broke out. India conducted a number of nuclear tests in 1998 and declared herself as an atomic power. India-Pakistan War 1999. Children, on your screen you will see a map on which the Kargil region is marked. The cause of war was the infiltration of Pakistani soldiers disguised as Kashmiri militants into Indian territory. India defeated Pakistan in this war as well. Indian economy. Emphasis of modernity and self-reliance by establishing industries. So, after independence, there was emphasis on modernity and self-reliance. There was stress on economy based on social justice. National Planning Commission was established to coordinate development through policy of 5-year plans. Now, what is this Planning Commission? After independence, the Indian economy was based on the concept of planning. This was carried out through the 5-year plans which were developed, executed and monitored by the Planning Commission from the year 1951 to 2014. Prime Minister is the ex officio chairman of the Planning Commission. The 12th plan completed its term in March 2017. The Planning Commission has been dissolved by the Narendra Modi government and has been replaced by Niti Aayog from the year 2015. The field of information and technology opened several avenues of employment in the country. Changes after 1991 described as globalization. Now let's see changes and development in the field of science and technology. Green Revolution. Now, India wanted to move towards self-reliance. So one of the steps or one of the measures taken was Green Revolution. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of the Green Revolution. He implemented new scientific agricultural techniques and increased the production of food grains. The next step towards self-reliance was White Revolution. The experiment in the cooperative dairy movement by Dr. Varghese Kurian led to increase of milk production in India. Atomic energy. Dr. Homi Bhabha laid the foundation of the Indian Atomic Power Program. India insisted on using this atomic energy for peaceful purposes like generation of electricity, using it for pharmaceuticals and defense. In 1975, the first satellite Aryabhatta was launched. India has a successful space program and many satellites also have been launched. Let's see what are the changes in social fields. The first is empowerment of women. Department of Women and Child Development. Now this department was created in 1985 under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. This was done to promote all-round development of women and children. Reservations for women. The 73rd and 74th Constitution Amendments made reservation of seats for women in the local self-government bodies. Policies and acts for women. Policies and laws like the Prohibition of Dowry Act, Equal Remuneration Act were passed. Scheduled caste, tribe and backward classes. The Kakasaheb Kalekar Commission was set up in 1953 to make recommendations to improve conditions of those bodies or those parts of Indian society which were deprived of dignity and equal opportunity due to caste system. B.P. Mandal Commission. In 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal to study the issue of backward classes. The policy of reservation was adopted in order to strengthen the representation of backward sections in services and institutions. Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. Now this was done to enable people belonging to scheduled castes and tribes to live with dignity and respect, free from fear, violence and oppression of upper classes. Globalization. Now children, what is globalization? Globalization is a socio-economic term. It is a continuous process through which different societies, economies, traditions and culture integrate with each other on a global scale through means of communication and interchange of ideas. The impact of globalization was first felt in the 1990s in India when the then Finance Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, initiated the Economic Liberalization Plan. Globalization has affected all aspects of life. Changes are visible in dietary habits, clothing, language and beliefs. India is an important member of a number of important international organizations like G20 and BRICS. There are changes in communication facilities have helped to connect the country. In political field, India is a great example of successful and stable democracy. Children, we stop here with the explanation for this lesson. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and take care.